I do this right, hey, if I do this right,
we gotta do this right.
It'll change the world.
The whole world.
It'll change my life.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Aish.
If I do this right,
World
hey,
peace.
if I do this right,
Come on.
There
it'll
he
change
is.
the
Change the
world.
world.
It'll change my life.
Gonna change the
hey.
whole life.
If I do this right,
If
I do this
Let's
right,
go. Let's
if I
go.
do this right,
it'll change the world.
that's what's
It'll
up.
change my life.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
If I do this right,
Yeah.
if I do this right,
Let's go. Let's go.
Where you at?
it'll change.
Hello.
Welcome. We just got a error,
Little
little notification. So let me knock that out real quick.
You got to make that right first. And welcome. It's November 12th. We are almost at the end of the year. We are looking at, Veterans Day.
Yep, Veterans Day was yesterday.
For all the veterans that's out there who signed up. And also the ones who signed up thinking they was going to finish college, but actually,
So messy.
No, but this is really a really great show that we're gonna have, including with all this is family time.
Yeah.
This is a big
The
family
end of
time.
the year is family time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with me, my parents came down, and everybody's just coming together, and I think that's huge. Don't get confused with everything that's online right now, talking about, family this, family that. Listen, I've heard something very valuable not too long ago. In 2123, 100 years from now, you got to do what matters today. You can't be into all the little things. You have to stick to your values. So do what matters to you today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what's new for you?
So let's see. Your parents were in town this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to mom and pop.
Yes, it was my first time getting to meet them in person, which me and mom talk on the phone pretty regularly. So it was good to.
She gave you gifts?
She did. She brought me two dresses.
Yeah.
One of them I really like. And so I'm trying to see. They're a little big.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try to see what I can do to get in it. So we had that. I don't know if you guys have heard, but we have a G baby on the way.
Oh, a grandberry, yeah.
A grandberry?
Berry baby. Grandbaby.
So we have a G baby on the way. So we are excited about that. It's starting to come into realization for us, I think.
It's gonna be a boy.
It's not gonna be a boy, it's gonna be a girl. We have too many boys.
Bet. That's the bet. It's gonna be
we have too many boys in the family already.
It's gonna be another boy.
No.
Okay. All right. That's the bet.
What we betting?
It's not what we betting. It's just the bet.
I want something out of it.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that next show.
Okay.
All right.
What else? Thanksgiving is next week. Next week after?
Next week. You're right.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. So this is my first time. Not first time. I won't say first time, but this is the first time in a while I've been excited about Thanksgiving. We're gonna have and it's gonna be real chill. We're gonna have the kids over.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat some good food. I am going to attempt a family picture. Pray for me.
Oh yeah, they was kind of feeling it, but they wasn't feeling it.
Again, we need more girls in this family.
Because nowadays everybody too cool for school.
Yeah. So we're gonna attempt that. So we are super excited. We are also getting some recognition.
Yes.
We have a network that has approached us.
Yep.
That is interested in us coming on
to their platform and doing If I Do This Right. Yeah. So as we end season 1 next month, season 2, we're getting looked at. So we want the show to blow up. We want you all to benefit from the show too. So you guys help us attain our dream. They love everything about the show. So we're going to continue to do it.
They're super excited. So we're still working out the particulars, but I'm excited about that.
And I'm excited for the next guest.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I'm super excited about this guest because this guest is not only one of my best friends, she's also a colleague of mine. So I'm going to read you guys her bio. and I'm super, super excited to have her on the show. Let me go to my favorites. Okay, so Lindsey Bradford is a pharmacy technician living the entrepreneurial lifestyle. In 2014, she created LW Pharmacy Tech School. Her mission is to provide online training and exam preparation to individuals seeking their certification in pharmacy tech credentials. Lindsey is the first of her generation to create an online school and has become quite the YouTube influencer with her inspiration teaching style. In her spare time, she enjoys traveling with her family, eating at new restaurants, and pampering herself. One of my best friends, Lindsey Bradford.
Yeah, let's bring Lindsey on. All right.
Hey, friend.
Hey, y'all. How are y'all?
We are good. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy to be here. Oh my God. First, let me just say this intro is a vibe. Okay.
Yes. Check the comments, baby. Yes, the intro. Thank you. It's a whole vibe. We're trying to get the party started. Hey, family.
All the families on. We got hey Rashad, Candy. How y'all doing?
Oh, okay.
They're talking amongst themselves.
We love that. We love that. Hey,
we saw you dancing to the intro. So
yeah.
Oh, y'all can see me because I was
So, Lindsey, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. You know that I admire you both as a friend, a colleague, and just in what you do. So before we dig into all of that, we are going to have our question of the show. So today's question, or this show's question is, what's the last great show you binged watch?
The first thing that comes to my mind is Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Oh yeah. We had some so the show D like Love is Blind. What's that? So it's the show that they meet in the pods.
Okay.
And then they start dating and they agree to get married. They propose to each other without even seeing each other. And then they go through they go on a honeymoon. Remember? You watched it.
Oh, okay. So that's the one. Dang, they got so many of them.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so what you like about Love is Blind?
I like the intimacy of that, where they get opportunities to dig into who each other are and really get the chance to see the real person without the face. Because I think sometimes looks and just different things that the person brings to the table outside of their authentic selves can also be swaying. And so here you get an opportunity to really see these people for who they are and make a decision based off of the information that you have and not the looks and the cars and the job and all that other stuff that make people look good in the beginning. You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is love blind? I mean, this is good. I mean, that's a good. Have you been in a position where love was just like, man, I immediately love somebody? Like, is that what I'm thinking of? Love is blind?
Yeah, it's like loving someone without having a visual representation.
What does that even look like?
I don't think that
have that happened to you?
I'm not. No. Yeah, who you asking? Which one?
Either one.
I need to. I think I'm a little superficial because I need to know what you look like.
Okay.
You know, I'm always asking for a picture. I'm always asking for a picture. Let me see a picture.
Yeah, because anytime me and Lindsey are talking about something, I already know she
said absolutely.
She already knows Lindsey's gonna say, "I need to see a picture."
I need to see a picture. I'm a visual person. I need pictures.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'm like, envision myself with you.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had love. I have love blindly, and I have love on sight. So I guess I'm ambidextrous in love.
That's silly.
That's interesting. I've never heard that one.
Right.
Rashad said love is love blind. Yeah. Is love blind? I think love is love. All right. Two things. Upfront love and back end love. I think upfront love is easier to do
Okay.
than the back end love. Because back end love takes that's some work. That's when you have to put in. That's when you think somebody's worth it or not.
Yeah. I think the concept of the show is great. And I think that show, you have to be invested in the process.
Yeah.
If you are not invested, and both people have to be equally invested in the process.
And what I also, if I could jump in, I feel like it shows you if the person has done the work on themselves. Because what I also realize is in that pod, you're having deep conversation.
Yeah.
You're getting an opportunity to see that person for who they are on the inside and the work they've done. So if they have not done any work and found out, what makes them who they are, you're going to see it very quickly. And in this last episode, there was a gentleman who, I forget their names, but his name
was Uche.
No, not Uche. The one that didn't like the girl because she wore makeup.
Oh yeah, the firefighter.
In the pod, he could talk to her.
Yeah.
But then in person, he couldn't really talk to her. And what I thought immediately was he lacked social skills. And that's why he was able to do it, because he could hide behind that wall. But when they were in person, he kind of shied and went back into a shell. And I was like, you could tell.
And I think he gaslighted her into making her feel like she was the problem because she had all this makeup on.
And that
was wow. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it did not. And I think have you watched the reunion show? I think on the reunion show he apologized because he did. After you go back and it's like being able to see your life in reverse.
Is apology is real, or what happened was real? I think apology just masks what you really need to say.
I think that after he saw, because hindsight is 2020, so he saw himself in hindsight, he was like, "Ooh, that's not a good look."
Which y'all not a good look. Y'all let me know.
Candy said, "Love with emotions or love without emotion." Yeah.
Rashad said, "Back end love." That's what she said.
I can't stand you.
That's my guy. So Lindsey, I want to first start off with talk to us about how it was for you coming up.
For me coming up, I grew up in a single parent home. It was just me and my mom, and I'm also the only child. So it was me experiencing, my mom and what it's like to be her daughter, and to have her. I like to say we're more like friends. She's my mom. Don't get it twisted, because baby.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a really good relationship. So growing up, it was just she and I, and we would do this thing every weekend that I like to try to hold on to as much as I can now that I'm older, is we would have some sort of get together with family. And so there were two other people in our lives, I guess, who my cousin and they also only have one child. And so it would be like the six of us, and we call ourselves what is it? I'm going blank. But anyway, we would all get together for margaritas. We were younger, but it was always a vibe. And that's something from my childhood that I kind of connect with even as I'm older, is always trying to make sure you keep that support and that camaraderie and that friendship and, all those things that help you to kind of get through life. And I didn't know that's what was happening then, but that is something about my childhood that I remember. It's just those Friday nights getting together, whether it was at Taco Cabana or Red Lobsters or Fried Fish at Mom's house. It was just always something that we would do. And so growing up, when I look back now, I'm like, I had a really good childhood. I really did.
Yeah. Even though, like, you hear stories of people who growing up with a single parent, how they, had to raise themselves, things like that. And that's really strong, because a lot of people have different experiences, but they think they're by themselves. And they don't hear stories like where you're like, hey, we connected with cousins, and in that format. So that was that gave me another look at.
I got it. It's the day ones. Look, if I don't correct that and they watch this, but we call ourselves the day ones. I'm like,
The
what?
day one, okay. Because y'all just recently went to like a concert. I think that's the last thing I can remember you sharing.
That was last year. But we went to see Salt and Pepper, New Edition. Was it Salt? I think it was Salt and Pepper. No. Excuse me, not Salt and Pepper. In Vogue, New Edition.
Oh man,
okay.
And Tony Tone was there, I want to say.
Yes.
And so that was a good time. But I actually just seen them on Friday night because my cousin celebrated her birthday. So we all still try to make sure we come together and support each other. And it's just good to have that family, and that family support. So yeah.
I think that's it. You all have a very unique dynamic because it's hard to find families who still do things together. Because even when we went to Houston for my birthday, because your mom's birthday is only a couple of days before mine. And so we was having a get together for her mom's birthday. And I mean, they welcomed us. It was like we had this big table.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was friendly.
And the day ones was there. They were there.
Yeah, somebody was super loud. I ain't pointing at nobody.
I didn't do nothing. I was.
My baby was being himself.
I was just being like,
and he was embraced.
But
yes.
But talk to me about being like the only child because was like birthdays and Christmas, like, or did you all just share those holidays too? Right. Now that we're heading to the holiday with Thanksgiving and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So being the only child was, it was something that I guess I didn't really I used to talk to myself a lot growing up.
I did too.
And so
yeah, but because even though not that I was the only child, but there was such a big gap between us. So yeah, I go ahead. But yeah, I did.
No, you know how we do. So
yeah. This conversation could go a lot of different places.
Right, it definitely can.
Don't get it twisted.
Let me see. So it was me and my mom most of the time, but my mom comes from a family of 11. So her mom had 11 kids. And my mom's side of the family, she has a really big family. So it was always, anytime we have Christmas and holidays and anything like that, it's always a lot of people. They're very loud and they like to play cards, and dominoes is a vibe, and that spade table. You get your feelings hurt on that spade. Don't come over here practicing because you need to come with.
You cut my king. Oh, yeah.
You play spade? Blah, 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 blah.
I play. Yeah. If you split my king, you'll see how much valuable you are in that day.
Yeah. So it was very, growing up with my mom's side of the family, you learn tough skin very, very quickly. They taught me strength, and they taught me what it's like to be strong and how to not, I guess, fold under pressure. Yeah. And because they're all very boisterous and they're very, very strong people, so it taught me a lot about strength and how to stand up for what I believe in and things like that.
They're very straightforward.
They're very straightforward. You ain't got to guess on how they feel. They're going to tell you. And then the flip side of that is my dad wasn't there. My dad, he left when I was about 5 years old. And so he left when I was 5. I didn't talk to him again until I was 19. And I didn't see him again until I turned 26. And so
how was that? Was that difficult for you when you
that was very, very difficult for me because it put me in a spot where I felt like I was missing something. And although I had the day ones, they both had their fathers, so it's 3 women with 3, female daughters, and they both had their fathers. And then all of my cousins had their fathers in their life, and then all of my friends did. So it felt very isolated. I felt like I was the only one who didn't have a dad around. And though my mom had a lot of individuals on her side, because she had like 6 brothers and it's 5 girls, or 5 boys and 6 girls. I think that's what it was. Yeah, 5 boys and 6 girls. But everybody had their own life. You know, everybody had their own commitments. And so a lot of times it would be, you know, my mom would always try to fill the void as much as she could. But what I realized now is I was really looking for my father. And so it led me to try so many things, you know, and I didn't realize at the time throughout my teenage years, the things I was trying, I was really looking for him, you know, and I tried quite a bit. And I thank God I was able to make it through everything that I, you know, kind of went through. And this past December of 2022, I had the opportunity to sit down with him and to share with him what little Lindsey had the opportunity to sit down with him and to get, just to have that conversation, not to blame him for anything, although he did take accountability. But I had the opportunity just to share all of what I experienced while he wasn't there, things he could have prevented, you know, the things that looking for his love made me do in a sense. And it was a very heartfelt conversation. He was very open and he took accountability, and we were able to move on. And, you know, and we already had a good relationship before that because I had already forgiven him. And I had, and one thing I will say is because I went through the forgiveness stage, I knew that there was nothing he could say. There was nothing he could say. There was nothing he could do that could justify his absence. So with me removing that type of constraint off of his response, it made it so easy. It made it so easy because now at this point, I'm not holding what you did against you. I am holding you accountable for what you did, but I'm not holding it against you, which means that every time I see you, you have to, you know, explain why it happened. And so we were able to move forward. And at the end of the conversation, he was like, "Can I give you a hug?" You know, and I could tell that he really felt what I was saying, and I felt him, and it was good. And so it doesn't mean that it erases what happened in the past, but it did soften my heart just for him and for the relationship. And you know, we don't have a lot of time, you know, to sit here on this earth and to bicker back and forth and to point fingers, especially now that I'm a parent. I know it's some stuff my kids gonna tell me later on, you know, they're like, "Mama, you could have did this, or you should have did that." You know, but nevertheless, him taking that accountability and him making sure that we got me getting that closure and him being open to that conversation definitely, you know, healed all of the wound that was left, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, that's good.
That was spot on because we hold grudges when we're not supposed to, and it's that wisdom. And I don't know what gave you. I don't know if that was something that was like intuition or something that was inside you. They gave you that wisdom and say, you know what, life is like man, like I experience so much right now. Life ain't about that little time because I've grown, you know what I'm saying, by myself. It's about how do we move forward from here. I think a lot of people can learn from moving forward from where you're at instead of digging up that path.
I think the reason why you were able to get there is because, just like we talked about those people on Love is Blind, you had already done some work on your own self. And so when you do the work for yourself, it helps change it changes the narrative. It helps change your expectation of other people because it gives you a more self-reflection when you do that self-work. I know your mother personally, but I just want you to share with us because with you seeing your mother as a single mother, what were the lessons that you took from her that you are now using in your own life?
When I think about my mom and everything that my mom has taught me, first and foremost, my mom has taught me how to fight. She taught me how to fight, how to stand up for what I believe in, how to be true to my thoughts, and to make sure that I am honoring myself in the best way possible. She is one of those women who is like, look, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I know when I want it. Okay.
Right.
Look, I met your mother. I said happy birthday to her. She was like, what my present at? I'm like, I ain't gotta know me. I ain't gotta know me.
She did. She healed you up quick.
I was like, I ain't gotta know me.
She's like, right. And so because of that, she gave me that foundation that I needed. Prior to, growing up and being grown, and in my childhood, I guess I should say, my mom, her background is a social worker. Mm-hmm. And so when I was young, she would take me to different functions. And she used to work for CPS, and there was a division that she worked for called One Church, One Child, and it was about adoption.
Oh, wow.
And so I would go with her, and she would do these presentations. And sometimes, I would have to stuff these little swag bags to give to people. And sometimes I had to carry stuff from the car. But more than anything, I had an opportunity to watch her do presentations. And so a lot of my public speaking, a lot of my motivational, topics that I speak on from time to time, I really, really got that from her. I learned that from her. And when I was a young girl, we're talking 9, 10, 8 years old, I'm watching her do her job. And it wasn't necessarily because I wanted to go, but it was because I'm the only child. She didn't have anybody else to watch me. She got to work on a Saturday. I have to go with her. And even during that time, what I did not know, and she and I just had this conversation the other day, is that time was preparing me for a time such as this.
Yes.
And so when I think about my mom and what she's done for me, she's taught me how to be a fighter, but she also taught me how to use my voice.
Yeah.
And I will forever love her for that, because even now, sometimes when I'm talking, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta, kind of bridle my tongue and just make sure that I'm being intentional about what I'm saying. Yeah. But she's definitely taught me how to use it.
Shout out to mom. And that brings me to my next question is, you have a pharmaceutical school, a pharmacy tech school, excuse me, that you opened up. So talk to us about like the decision before doing that. Like how was that? Candy said love it.
Okay, so before I tell you about the pharmacy tech school, I got to tell you how I got into pharmacy tech, into the whole career.
Yeah.
So I was 18, I was pregnant, and I was a high school dropout. I didn't know I was a high school dropout. I had just stopped going to school. And my mom came in my room one day, and she knocks on my door, and she's like, I'm about to go to work. You pregnant, you got a baby on the way. I don't know what you're gonna do, but when I get back, you better have a plan. And I was good and sleep, but I was up. But by the time she finished saying that, I was up. And so I was like, okay, let me get a plan together. And I did, because I was scared of my mama, and I'm scared of her to this day.
Yeah.
And so anyway, girl, she don't be playing. And so there was a commercial that came on that same day. It was an Everest commercial, and it said something to the fact of, you ain't doing nothing anyway. You just laying on the sofa. You might as well call. And they were talking about the school. Yeah. And so when I called, they had different programs available. And one of the programs were pharmacy technician. Now, mind you, a few days before this happened, I was at my cousin's house, and his baby mama said if she ever did anything or went back to school, it would be for pharm tech. And so that was the last thing that I remember hearing. And it just so happened to be the program that they were offering. So when they asked me what I was calling for, I said pharmacy technician. I went, they told me I needed a high school diploma, and that I needed to enroll in the program, once I got the high school diploma. So I went, did the high school diploma, got a high school diploma, not a GED, completed that. Went back, completed the pharmacy technician program, had my son, and, went on that journey of pharmacy tech. My very first job was in a pediatric pharmacy. And this pediatric pharmacy was in the middle of a Hispanic community. And this pharmacy was owned by Asian doctors, Asian women doctors. Okay. So here I am, the only Black girl in this pharmacy, and I don't speak Spanish. And so at the time, I was driving this little white car. It was a white Maxima. It had peanut butter seats on the inside, leather interior, white on the outside, no air in Houston. And when I would get to work, I would be wet because I'm riding with the windows down, the leather and everything. And so because I did not speak the language, they didn't give me any tasks to really complete. And with that being said, in the beginning, I felt like I was being discriminated against because I'm the only Black person. Everybody in here is Asian descent or Hispanic, and everybody speaks Spanish but me. And so immediately the natural feeling is to feel guilty for yourself and feel sorry and to feel pity and things like that. And so then it dawned on me like, hey, why don't you bring your book so you can start studying? And I brought my book. And I would sit in the back of the pharmacy on top of a brown cardboard box. And I would study my pharmacy textbook because even though I had completed the program, I was not certified. Because in Texas, you can work as a pharmacy technician and not be certified. So you can actually be in the pharmacy. At that time, I probably was 19.
You were 19 years old studying the way you were studying. A lot of 19-year-olds are in the club.
Yeah.
Especially
in that time in the Houston.
Oh, I was in the club. I was in the club.
I was about to say that too.
Well, I was in the clubs. It was just on the weekend.
It's called balance. It's called balance.
Say you got to get it together, right? And so, it dawned on me like, you know what? Let me utilize this time instead of feeling sorry for myself. Let me use this time. And I did. And I studied that book and I became a certified technician. Okay. Now that was in 2007, 2008. Fast forward to 2014. My husband comes to me. It's always a loved one, y'all, that pushes me into the next, that shifts me into the next direction. And so my husband comes to me and he's like, why don't you figure something out to do? You know, I don't really want you to have to work too hard, but just figure out something to do. And I prayed about it. Wow. And I asked God to give me a vision, you know, as to what my contribution to society is. And he gave me LW Pharmacy Technician School.
Oh, you're getting a lot of praise right now. Shadi said on game. Kamari said, Lindsey,
hey,
Mama don't play. Somebody said, congratulations. So, yeah, I mean, that's so does that lead you into the If I Do This Right part? If I Do This Right was actually my marriage. It's my marriage. My marriage has taught me commitment. It has taught me stability. It has taught me loyalty, and it has taught me trust. And because my dad left at such an early age, trust was one of the things that I really struggled with. It's stability. Not that my mom didn't provide it, because she did. She was an excellent mom. But we all know that it really takes a two-parent household. And so for me and my husband been married 10 years. Shout out to my husband. Long marriage. 10 years. You don't hear 10 years.
No, you don't. You don't.
10 years. Shout out to him, because my marriage has helped me to stay grounded, and it has helped me to get to the place that I am today. And I don't want this to be mistaken by my marriage gave me my identity. That's not that. Right. You know what I mean? I think sometimes women think, well, a man doesn't give you your identity. I knew who I was before we got married, and I've learned more about myself in this marriage. However, it has given me that foundation, and it has given me that stability to stay in tune with the promise and the vision of the school and other things that I've been able to commit myself to. So if I had to say what was my If I Get This Right moment, it would definitely be my marriage.
Yeah. Shout out to the Black Men's Committee. Yeah. We see you. We see you.
So talk to us about, and I'm trying not to insert what I already know into the conversation, but talk to us about how your marriage and the pharmacy tech school kind of help balance each other out for you?
So when I think about the way that they balance each other out is, when you trying to do something that you've never done before, I'm the very first person in my family to have a pharmacy technician school. And I'm the very first out of my parents to be as married as long as I have been married.
Yeah.
So we're talking about breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
We're talking about creating a new normal. We're talking about things that are totally out of my frame of reference. I didn't have a reference point for any of this. So when I think about how my marriage has helped me and how my school has brought me that balance, it has allowed me to dig deeper into myself to find out what my true contribution is to society. Because I think as Black women, and I can really only speak for myself, a lot of times we look and we are so quick to try to do it all by ourselves and do it alone. And without my marriage, I don't think I ever would have understood teamwork. And without the school, I don't think I would have ever truly understood what it was like to have a legacy. Look at my husband, all of my business.
Show it out. Show it out. I love my brother-in-law. Show out. Show out.
Conversation. But it has given me that opportunity to have that legacy, and to make sure that we as Black people are leaving something behind. I wanted, more than anything, one of the things that's important to me is that other women and other teenage girls and other teenage mothers who are where I used to be, I want them to see that this is something that you can have. You can have a baby early on, and you don't have to go. No, there's nothing wrong with going to college. I think that it's a good, a good pathway
for everyone.
But it's not for everyone. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. And so for me, when I think about my marriage and my school together, I want those girls from the South side of H-Town, because that's where I'm from. Yeah. From the South side of H-Town to know that in any other spot throughout the country and over the world, all over the world, to know that there is still hope on that other end, and you can still have the things that you desire, no matter how it starts. It's really about where you go and where you land.
Yeah. Talk to us about the pharmacy school in general, because of course I know, but let me give you kudos, because I think what you do different. Yes, ma'am. I think what you do different, because when you hear pharmacy tech and you think of, that's some intimidating stuff. That's medicine, that's health, that's numbers. Those are all areas that can seem intimidating, especially when you are young. You are trying to figure out life. You are trying to figure out what my next step is going to be. And you have such an authentic way of breaking down these subjects, the material. Your YouTube page is very informative. I have personally talked to several people who didn't even come to LW, but came to your YouTube page just to pass their PTCB test, because they couldn't. So I want you to talk to us a little bit about the pharmacy school, your thought process behind how you teach, and the method to the madness of teaching pharmacy tech.
For me, pharmacy tech is such a passionate spot, or I guess a very close spot to me, because it's part of what saved me. It's part of what saved my life. And if we had a lot of time, I'll tell you more stories, but that'll be when y'all bring me back on the next show.
Yeah.
But
I like the setup you just did too.
Set that up, part two. But when I think about pharmacy technician, and I always tell this to my students, and I'll tell you all this: everything in our past has prepared us for this moment. And life is really about connection. Life is really about intentionality, and it's about using what you have to get to where you want to be.
Yes.
You know, Diamond in the Players Club, or it was Ebony's in the Players Club, who was like, you gotta use what you want to get
what you want.
Yeah, to get what you want. And so I like to apply that same sort of, you know, method in the sense where it's like, hey, everything in our past has prepared us for this moment. And I think that people don't, when we go to school, we learn something new. It's so easy to separate the newness from what we already have. And then that creates that gap. And so my job and what I love to do is to help people bridge that gap. It's to help them see that you don't have to be anything other than yourself to achieve the goals and to get the things that you want to have to be successful in life. And so when we come to pharmacy and they come into my classroom, my first thing I always tell them is, hey, be true to you. Be true to yourself, because it's going to take you being true to you that's going to help us get over to that next side. And a lot of times it's not really me teaching them that helps them. It's me encouraging them and inspiring them and motivating them and letting them know, like, hey, friend, your light work. You know what I mean? Like your wings work, flap them. And so the moment that they feel that, they're able to really go in there and they're like, Miss Lindsey, I heard everything you said when I was taking my test. You know, I've had people tell me that they listen to my videos and they sleep. I was like, in your sleep? In their sleep. And really, honestly, I can't credit myself for the things that I say. A lot of times it's God working in me to get it to his kids, you know, to get it to his children, because who knows us better than our creator? And I think that as long as people give themselves credit for what they've already done, you know, a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for what we've already done and what we've already accomplished. Once you can give yourself that type of credit, it makes everything else easier to push through and to accomplish. And so my job in pharmacy technician is just helping them bridge that gap, using what you got to get what you want.
What you want.
That's
so inspiring. I'm going to share your contact information. How to get a hold of you. But I want you recently you spoke in front of a large audience.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't really speak in front of large audiences like that. I have to be doing something different.
You gotta be making people laugh.
No, I gotta, you know, I gotta turn up. I gotta turn up a little bit. Oh yeah, I gotta get some courage juice in my system. But walk us through, how was it for you speaking about your passion in front of a large audience? And just, were you nervous?
I really wasn't nervous. I had my husband with me. When I tell y'all, that man is my number one supporter.
Thank you to my man.
Yo, shout out to the hubby.
But it was my first time being mic'd up. I had never worn a mic. You know, in all my speaking engagements, I had never worn a mic. And Stephen mic'd me up. And he was like, okay, make sure it's working. And he gave me the clicker so I could control the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. And I just got up there and I was myself. I'm always open and transparent about who I am and what I've been able to do, not just in a sense of all of the accolades and all of the accomplishments, but everything that led up to that moment. Because I think it's important that people know that it's really not always about the accolades that get you to where you need to be, but it's everything in the past. You know, it's those times when you were scared. It's those times when you didn't know what was going to happen next. And in that moment, I just used what I knew and I told them my story. And at the end, there were individuals walking up and saying, "Can we take your picture?" And I was like, my picture? And they were like, yeah. And one of the teachers gave me some feedback, and she said, you gave them a realistic point of view and you helped them to see that you can have plans in life, but life can sometimes go another way. And if it does, you have to know what you're going to do next.
Yeah. And then people that look like you can also be inspired to say, hey, if she can do it and she looks like me, you know, I'm dark skinned, I can do it too, in a field where pharmacy tech mentally in certain minds don't look black at all.
Right.
No, it's not.
So super unattainable.
Yeah, it's unattainable, or it takes, you know, you got to, you know, they thinking it might is expensive.
Yeah.
They're thinking it might they can't do it. But like you said, if they have the passion for it, they can go after it.
Yeah.
They can definitely go after it.
Yeah.
Speaking of somebody whose mind is intuitive, and shout out to you and your husband, Stephen. You also gave us a book,
Yes,
and to read, and I want you to share how you came upon this book, because I'm not going to give it away.
yeah,
This book is so inspiring because it have you thinking about things
totally differently.
I'm gonna lead you in with this. It taught me to watch what I say. It taught me to watch what I say when I'm speaking on my own life. It taught me to watch what I say.
Listen, it is life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yep, it is. And I'm trying to pull the title up so I can say it right, but this title is The Secret to Money Masterclass. And it is by Rhonda, I can't never say her last name, Byrne.
Yeah.
Byrne. I think it's Byrne.
Yeah.
And what led me to that book, there's another book that she has called The Secret. And I'm always looking for ways to improve, ways that I can be a better me, you know. And so I began reading The Secret. And then after I read The Secret, I read a book called The Power, which is also by her. Then after I read The Power, I read a book called Hero, which is also by her. And then after I read these books. And then after I read, what did you say, friend?
I was just saying, I'm gonna put them in the link after the show airs.
Okay.
So that if you guys come back and watch it, or if you're watching it after it has aired, you'll be able to link to those books.
Yeah, keep going, Lindsay.
Yeah, and so then after I read Hero, I was led to the Money Masterclass. And the Money Master, so let me back up. Let me tell you what made me want to shift my perspective on money is because growing up, my mom, it was just she and I. And I didn't know we were struggling, but I did realize that I wasn't able to get all of the things that other kids got. And so the other people who I was around, they could get this, they got that, you know, they had different things. And I used to always kind of see that we were not able to do some of those things, but I still lived a very fulfilling childhood. And so naturally growing up, I saw money to be something where you have to work hard for it. And you had to do, you know, you had to work hard for it. You had to do things you did not want to do for it. That means go to work. You know, it's a very cut and dry idea of what it looked like. Yeah. And I started saying, okay, I want to change my perspective on it, because I think a part of me had a little bit of a poverty mindset. And one example of a poverty mindset, because me and Aisha, we were just talking about this the other day. Yeah. Me and her, and friend, I'm gonna put it out there. Why we gotta squeeze the very last of the toothpaste before we go on to the next?
And the new tube is sitting right there.
The new tube is right there. Why we got to roll that toothpaste all the way up?
Suffer, and you got a new tube. Just throw that away.
Just throw it away and move on. And I know.
No, we just had that conversation.
I'm talking about it went to the part where you fold it in half and then you put something on it just to squeeze it out. Yeah,
baby. No, hold on for it, baby. You had already took the new toothpaste out and put it on the counter, but the old toothpaste was still there. I was sitting there fighting with it, and I'm looking at the new tube, and I'm like, why am I sitting here fighting?
That's a good point, because we do it subconsciously.
Yes, I threw it away, and I instantly texted Lindsay, and I said, why am I sitting here fighting? It's a poverty mindset. Man. Why am I sitting here fighting, and the tube is sitting right here? Just throw that away.
It's a poverty mindset. And I think I want to say that it's something that's been a part of our community for so long. I don't think this is just an isolated thing. I think it's a part of our community. I think it's because what we know all we've had to do is fight, you know. So it's like
on your plate.
That's another one. Eat everything on your plate.
Yeah, all those things.
All of those things. And so because of that, I would find myself doing things in ways that it was such a poverty mindset. But then my husband, on the other end, See, I was taught, or in my mind, you cut them lights off when you walk out that room. He'll be in the room with lights on and don't even care. And in my mind, I'm like, you're so wasteful. But it's a different, he has a different outlook, you know. And so I wanted to start digging into my thoughts on money and why did I see things like that. And so the first thing that it helped me to understand was, you know, I was not showing gratitude for everything that I had. Now I am a very thankful person. And I say thank you every time somebody does something for me, every time somebody gives me something, I'm saying thank you. You know, I appreciate this opportunity. Thank y'all, you know, but I think there are times when I didn't show the gratitude in ways that I could have as far as myself. You know how it is, you put everybody first and then you take care of you last. Mm-hmm. And, you know, one of the things that is the greatest gift of all is our body, the temple that we're in. And it's so easy to neglect yourself, not exercise, not eat right, all of these things, because you're like, I got to get to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah. And I started to realize like, okay, I thought I was grateful, but I'm not living in the right now. And then another example was because I'm very goal driven and I'm always working on the next thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it would be hard to stop and celebrate right here. Mm-hmm. For example, there are some things I haven't bought for my house because I keep saying we're not going to be in this house long. We're going to the next house. Yeah. And so a lot of times I'm like, well, I ain't gonna buy this right now. I'm gonna wait till we get to the new house. And the thing is, it's about living right now in the moment. It's about celebrating where we are now. It's about embracing this moment. It's about making sure that we have what we need now. Because what we end up doing is we end up living later and not living now. It's like you're always waiting to live. Yeah. And I don't want to be in that.
Why am I tearing up?
Yeah, that was strong. That hit
and
me.
You know, it's like you're always saying, well, when I get here, I'm gonna enjoy what I've done. I'm gonna enjoy who I am. I'm gonna enjoy the fruits of my labor. But really, right now, y'all, you know, this is the time to live. This is the time to have. This is the time to be. And that book has taught me how to be grateful for the now. And if you can be grateful for the now, the things that your heart desire will come to you. You know, you're a magnet. It's the law of attraction. You will attract those things. And it made me shift my perspective on so much and to be grateful for right now and not to think so far into the future. There's nothing wrong with goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have more and to be more and to do more. But there's also life in the moment, you know, and I think a lot of times we pass that up trying to get to that next thing.
The next level.
Yeah.
We don't enjoy where we are right now. Sometimes we don't even appreciate the accomplishments that we already have accomplished because we're looking for the next accomplishment. Yep. And I know you and I had this conversation when I completed my master's. I had just completed my master's and I had started this mentorship program. And, you know, we were having our opening conversation. She was asking me about myself and I told her, and she said, well, what's your plan, you know, next? And I was like, I don't know. And I had almost a bit of anxiety because I was like, I don't know. I just finished. I don't know. And she said, you know what? Enjoy the moment. Yeah. Take the time to just enjoy and appreciate and celebrate the fact that you just finished your master's. Mm-hmm. Sit in that. Yeah. And I think that that's what sometimes we fail to do because especially when you're goal driven, we want to, okay, what's next? Sometimes it ain't about what's next. Sometimes it's about, let me just sit in this and appreciate and celebrate that this is a moment that I have accomplished, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. And what that made me do was now, after every goal is accomplished, it's making me carve out time just to sit in that, just to celebrate that, just to be present in that, you know, and not be so far like, well, I'm not going to get this because, and see, that's also poverty mindset because you're saying that what you want later, where you are now is not large enough to hold it. So I'm not going to bring nothing new right here because this can't hold it. I got to wait till I get there. And then the thing is, buy what you want now, have what you want now, and then if it doesn't go with you later, give it away. But we're always like this.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you close your hand too tight, you ain't letting nothing loose, but you ain't receiving nothing.
And you're not receiving nothing.
Wow.
Either.
Yeah.
Wow. That, you know what? That is, we always talk about things that we cannot see as far as like our hopes and our dreams, but it's some things we cannot see as far as our blockage.
Yeah.
We can't see what's blocking it.
Yeah.
We can't see, like you said, holding on to something in the past is blocking the future because the opportunity is like, all right, I'm here for you to grab me, but you're so focused on something else that you can't even see the opportunity. And the opportunity just goes by. Like, all right, peace.
And it'll go to somebody else that's open and ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
This is also with you and your school. Can you tell people how to get plugged in? I mean, we got some future pharmaceutical techs that's watching right now that may want to, look into your school and look into your YouTube page. So tell them how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. The name of the school is LW Pharmacy Technician School. And we start a new class every first Monday of the month. And you must be at least 16 years of age or older to enroll. You should have a high school diploma, a GED, or working towards one, like I was, okay? And then the course is only 15 weeks. We have it where you can pay as you go, or you can enroll and complete the entire 15-week course at one time. The info for everything is at the bottom. Our number is 903-295-5933. We are always open and ready to talk to you all. So make sure that you do reach out. You can also text that number. And then you can see me on YouTube at LW Pharmacy Technician School doing my thing. Okay. We're also on TikTok. And then at the end of the program, you will receive a certificate of completion. We also offer community health workers. So anybody who's open to being a community health worker, that is something that is on the rise. We are the 58th school in Texas to offer community health worker. We started doing it in 2018 before it was a thing. And now we in the mix of everything. But yeah, for sure. We start a new class every first Monday of the month. That is 12 start dates a year, so it's always time for you to hop in, and we do have payment plans and affordable tuition. So definitely give us a shout if you want to be a technician. We can help you.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. Hey, I had the opportunity to meet you and your husband, and I'm gonna tell you guys, y'all don't let nothing stop you. And it's not the fact that those words are being said. It's the fact that somebody is waiting on you to get there so they can be blessed. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying there's no such thing as haters and all this stuff like that. You need to get where you need to be because somebody else needs you to get there so they can get some help.
Yeah. That part.
You gotta get there. You gotta help the next person. This is a pass the torch lifestyle that we live. Yeah. That's why we gain our knowledge and we pass it on. Pay it forward. How come pay it forward means so much more than you paying what you're supposed to pay? Lindsey did it. Lindsey.
Come on, boy.
But this is
I know that's right.
This is the message that comes from people who have tasted success and when you get successful, you're thinking you're like, I could have been got here. Mm-hmm. I could have got here a long time ago. What took me so long? Mm-hmm. That part where she said, if I did this right, what's my team around me? Yeah. What is their mindset? Yeah. How come I'm not getting where I'm going? Because the people around me should be getting me to where I'm going, and I should be getting them to where they're going. Yeah. But if you don't have your team around you, if you don't have the right mindset around you, you really can't get anywhere. Yeah. Because they're gonna not know, they're gonna not have the information. This stuff is important. Yeah. And we surround ourselves around people who are not there, and it's okay. Hey, if I'm not getting you to where you're going, it's okay for you to depart from me, right? Yeah. Just like a job. My job is performance based. If you're not performing, you gotta move around. It's not because we don't love you, it's because we have to. We cannot get to where we're going as a company keeping you on, and you don't have the skills.
Yep.
Get skilled up. Go out here in this world and get it. It's for the taking.
Yeah.
This is our time. We were born. This is our time. Take it. Stop letting people get you watching somebody else get successful. Like, oh man, they're successful. How to get? Take it.
Thank you.
They can't hold it all.
Show up for yourself.
Listen, we live in a world where Jay-Z and Puffy are billionaires, and there's there's still more money out here.
Yeah.
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 They print money every day. They print money every day.
Come on.
They print it every day.
Yeah, half of us don't even carry the printed money.
You know.
Look, they got so much money. They said we're gonna make some money that you can't see. We're gonna call it Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You can't even see that money. You gotta hope it's there.
Yeah. You gotta hope it's there. Friend, I just want to give you your kudos out in public because I love you so much. I love our relationship. We are definitely a team that pulls and share. We share a lot. And our conversations go everywhere. But I just want to give you your flowers openly. I admire who you are, you as a mother, you as a wife, you as an entrepreneur so much.
Don't make me cry. Okay, thank you, friend.
I do. I admire you so much. And I'm so appreciative that these people got to share a little bit of what I see every day in you. So keep shining, keep doing what you're doing. I know a lot of amazing stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Yeah. And friend, you deserve it. You work hard. You work hard.
We support you.
You work hard. So I love you. We love you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Y'all gonna make me cry.
Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. We are going to go ahead and close out. But before we close out, you want to share your if I do this right?
Did you know?
Did you know? My bad. Did you know
comes afterwards. So
yes.
Thank Lindsey. Thank you so much. And I'm telling you, we are going to promote LW till there's no end, because why? Somebody watching this show, even down the line, even when we get to a new network, they're going to look back at these shows and say, hey, I'm going to sign up for this school because I'm sick of life going the way it is.
Yeah.
And they connected and get inspired and get the certification that they need to change their life. So this is life-changing stuff. And I'm glad that you were able to be a part of it. So this is great. I love it. So Lindsey, thank you so much. And I can't thank you enough. Definitely want to back for season 2.
Thank you. Y'all's the volume was going in and out.
Okay. You said a lot of good things.
We're about to wrap the show up.
When you watch the show back, we said a lot of great things you're gonna love to hear. But
thank you. So love y'all.
Yeah. All right. Thank everybody for being on the show,
tuning in and commenting. Thank you guys.
Next month.
Tuning in.
Next month.
Oh my God. I am so excited about next month. So next month we will be having Dr. Pruitt.
Dr. Pruitt.
Dr. Pruitt is the 13th president of Jarvis Christian University. Yes. She will be our end of the season show next month, and I am so super excited. That show actually won't be live, but we will air the show at the same time on the second Sunday of the month. But I'm so super excited. She just happens to be a good friend of mine, and she's so inspiring, and she's another awesome individual. So please make sure that you tune in to that show.
Yes, and also, I just want to do it right here.
Go ahead, man.
So this is a Did You Know? I love to end this our shows with information that's out there, that's free for you to have. There's something that you can utilize. So I was blessed to see a website they call is USA.gov, where you can find different programs in your city, in your state, that offers programs to help you. We're talking, and I'm not talking about like food stamps and stuff like that. I'm talking about health. things for if you ever want to get different looks on health services, if you want to get different looks on homes, grants. Also, if you're low income or you just low income or have no money, there's a pro for that. There's always going to be for that. I'm talking about for you to get to the next level. Your government in certain states have programs that you may not even know about.
Mhm.
So USA.gov, find your state and look on there and see what was there for you. I love the grants because grants is money
You
that
ain't
they
got to
have.
pay back.
They
That's
just
your
have
money.
it. You don't pay it back.
Yeah.
And each year is a fiscal. It's not fiscal by the year. It's fiscal by the time that they reopen
Mhm.
the grant. So
Mhm.
they October, November, December, they have grants that's opening then January, February, March. Sometimes people wait until January to fill out for grants, but they be too late.
Yep.
That's because they open it. Their fiscal starts before the
Yeah,
year.
most people, most businesses' fiscal starts in October.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So those grants are out there. This is your time. You're living. You're an adult. Go after it. Get it. Why not? It's there.
There's no excuse.
It's money that's just sitting there. And
Yeah.
guess what? Somebody else is taking it.
Yeah.
And and you're just leaving it behind and you're wondering, there's nothing out there for me. Well, you haven't looked, So this is a way for you to get closer to that and look and get your if I do this right moment so you can be on the show.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you all. Have a great night. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we will see you guys again around this time next month. Take care.